Hey guys, so as everyone doesn't seem to be quite finished with the Sarah Porchin attack right now, I thought I'd cover it again. We may as well go into a little bit more detail as to why this is happening, or at least why I think it's happening, and the veracity of it as well. It's been really, really intense, and I think for a couple of reasons. We'll get into that in a sec, but I'd just like to say, if you do like the channel, please subscribe to it. Unless I say this, I just don't get anyone subscribing to the videos, so let's get it out the way. If you do like it, again, please subscribe. It does help the channel and it does help me keep going, and it gives me more enthusiasm to make more videos. Right, moving on. So the Sarah Porchin thing, if you don't recall, Sarah Porchin was accused of being a racist. Now, she was accused of being a racist for pointing out that on UK television, around about 50% of UK adverts have black people in them, even though they represent 4% of the population. And quite often in these adverts, it's paired, a black man is paired with a white woman, or a black man is paired with a white woman and they've got some brown kids, or some combination of that, right? And it's been like this for a while. Everyone knows that this is the truth. The reason that I think that she's got such a backlash for pointing this out is because, of course, people want to call her a racist anyway. I think what we've seen on X especially, because that's where the mask slips the most, I think what we've seen on X is a perfect textbook example of what white people have to go through on a daily basis living in the West right now, where even having an opinion on the factual truth is called racist if it doesn't align with their agenda. And their agenda is the demonization of white people at all costs. And again, there's a couple of reasons for this. They say we shouldn't talk about race. They constantly say that talking about race, if you're a white person, is terrible. It's the devil's shit or something, I don't know. But at the same time, they have all black Community Excellence Awards or some bullshit like this every single year. They have Black History Month every single year. They celebrate their power and their blackness right in our face constantly, because that's not racist. Having black-only groups, black-only award ceremonies, things like this, that's not racist. That's deserved for some reason, for all their wonderful contributions that they've made to the world. Like, anyway, so it also goes further. You've got people like Diane Butler. Is that her name? I can't remember. Dawn Butler, sorry. She looks like a Diane. Anyway, you get people like Dawn Butler coming out and saying that, of course, Sarah Porchin is a big fat racist. Well, of course she's going to say that. But at the same time, she's the woman that says that Kemi Badenoch is the black face of white supremacy. So it seems as though they can be vicious and racist themselves about pretty much anything, but as soon as you even utter a factual statement that would strip away some of their power, that would strip away some of the opportunity that has been given to them freely, then they turn vicious, they turn nasty, and they start to destroy your reputation. It's very strange, isn't it, guys? And it also happens with the Muslim community as well. The Muslim community have jumped on this. They really like the idea that they can now go around calling white people racist again, because it diverts from something that's happening right now, and we'll get on that in a sec. But it also allows them to jump on the bandwagon, align themselves with other ethnically diverse groups to form a larger group than what they currently have, to again attack white people. Now this is, again, there's a reason for this. It's all to do with power dynamics, it's all to do with subversion, and it's all to do with gaslighting the native population into giving up their own power, using malicious altruism, by playing on people's emotions, manipulating those emotions to make them give up their own solidarity, give up their own nationality, their own identity, their own history, all in the name of being progressive, because diversity is their strength. Now, there's a reason that I think that the Muslims especially are jumping on this right now, is because it's a massive distraction from what is a grooming inquiry and a grooming scandal ongoing in the UK. They've even went as far with Mothin Ali to say that the biggest problem in the UK is white people going around raping black and brown people. Very, very strange, very strange angle of attack, considering what's happening right now with the grooming scandal. We've got these people coming out and saying that the whole thing is rigged. The whole thing has been set up to dilute the findings by including causes and effects and communities that have nothing to do with the initial investigation or the initial inquiry. The Muslim diaspora in the UK has been desperate for this thing to die. They've been desperate for this thing to not proceed forward, along with a large cohort of councillors, mayors, police inspectors, MPs, and senior political figures. You know, you've got to wonder why all of these people at the same time are saying, please don't look at this thing, please make it go away. In fact, you're all racists. Please, just everyone listen to us. You're all a bunch of... Why aren't you listening to us? Why are you making memes? What you used to listen to us before when you called us a race. Well, what's going on? The memes continue. And they will continue, because the idea of being ashamed of being called a racist now is ridiculous. It's gone beyond the pale.
Stop that.
One of the things that I hate more than anything else is the colourblindness, the willingness to refute what your eyes can see. The willingness to jump on the backs of your fellow countrymen like Luke Edwards, who says that Britain stands for love, Britain is against hate and racism. And I agree, I don't want anyone to be racist, but unfortunately we live in a country right now where we seem to be under attack, and the other side seem to be dishonest. They seem to be gaslighting us. They seem to be calling us the very thing that they have been doing to us for quite a long time now, and that's racist. You know, we've got all of these instances of white people being attacked in the streets by people that shouldn't be here. You see, that stuff is ignored by people like this, and that's what really makes me angry, because Luke Edwards is disingenuous. This is the real face of racism, guys.
Defendant did knowingly cause serious physical harm to J.W. on date of birth 10/29/2020. Count 5 alleges that on or about June 3rd, 2020, any record, document, or thing with the purpose to impair...
Having someone laugh while they're being read out the crimes, which was the murder of this small little boy, randomly, just saw him, stabbed him to death. These kinds of things, that's true racism. Telling people in a tweet that they might be overrepresented in British media when they literally are 50%, 4%. That's a massive overrepresentation, a complete barefaced fact. That's not racist, guys. This is racist. Someone targeting a young child because he's white and then smiling about it in court. This is also racist, guys. So the Muslim community will say that they are pro-diversity, they love the gays, they love white people, they love Britain, they love all of it, except, you know, when they're behind closed doors and the truth comes out.
Very simple. No integration, no multiculturalism, no diversity, no tolerance. I got my own deen, you got your own deen. You got your democracy, we got our own sharia. You got your own free mixing, we got our own nikah. Own cheating within the marketplace, your own credit cards. We got our own economic system. We got our own foreign policy. We got our own deen.
No, I don't even think that's particularly racist. I just think the mask has slipped and he's telling you that he doesn't want to integrate, he wants to take over the country. So Islam and race often get conflated together because the majority of Muslims come from a certain demographic. And there's a lot of crimes that have happened in this country, in particular from a certain demographic, and that's Pakistani Muslims, which is why I think the Muslim community has been so eager to jump on the bandwagon and call everyone a racist, because they want to deflect from what is going to be a massive scandal with the grooming inquiry. Not this one, because this one's already failed, but there will be eventually an investigation that pushes through and people will be called to justice, because you can't hide this forever. You really can't. The press and the media, though, they're the ones that truly disgust me. They're the ones that freak me out. I don't know how someone can work in the media unless the people asking these questions are Muslim or black and they want to deflect from the truth. If it's a white person asking these kinds of questions, then I fear for them, because they won't be part of the new society that we're going to build moving forward. We're going to remember who the traitors are and the quislings. We're going to remember the people that obfuscated the truth and tried to gaslight people to look away while they hunted our children. And they continue to do it, by the way. So when they were in this press conference, one of the grooming victims was explaining why she had to leave the inquiry. Why she had to leave the inquiry that was investigating 250,000 children that so far known have been raped by Pakistani Muslims. The media, though, they weren't really interested in that, as you'll hear.
Worthy from a Times. I'll try and speed it up.
It's fine, don't worry.
All right. Ben's there.
On the comments that Sarah Pouchin made, you say they were ugly and were very unpleasant.
So he doesn't want to talk about the grooming inquiry. The whole reason for this press conference was to talk about the grooming inquiry and the fact that this woman has stepped down because she thinks that it's a farce. The press and the media refused to ask a single question about that, though. They were more interested in calling Sarah Pouchin a racist.
Indeed. However, going back to earlier points, can you explain how they're not racist?
I've already said, taken on their own and not in context, you could read them that way. Within the broader picture of the sort of collective madness under the DEI banner that has overcome the advertising industry, that is the context in which they're made. But they were very unwise words to utter in any context.
This is where Nigel Farage is weak, and I don't like him at all. I think he's a spineless spiv. What he should be saying is, she said a factual statement. The fact that you guys are reacting so viscerally tells us more about you than it does about what she just said.
I don't think I can be clearer about that, but I don't believe they had a deep racist intention behind them. If I did, I would have acted differently. And I think if you look, Ben, at my career, over a quarter of a century in public life, you know, I've always made sure, whichever party I've been running or in a senior position, that we didn't align with anything like that at all. And I've been very strict on that. I'm going way back to the early 2000s, in that being the view, and one that I've upheld right throughout my time in politics and public life. Okay.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah,
as well?
please do.
I find it quite, overwhelming as well that every single one of these medias has said something about a comment that was made by Sarah, which is understandable, absolutely fine. Yet it's taken medias decades to recognise grooming gangs that are coming over and raping our children because they're white. That is also racially motivated, and it is racist.
Nigel Farage should have made that point. Nigel Farage should have been the one making that point. The media shouldn't have been asking those questions. They should have been asking her more questions about the experience that she's went through, the experience of going into that inquiry, how they've tried to shut her up, how they've tried to stymie the truth, how they've tried to gaslight her into changing her story. But none of that was asked. Instead, it was just about how racist Sarah Pouchin is, and by association, how racist white people are. Because that's what it is, guys. It's a power thing. They're afraid right now of the movement that's happening in the UK. They're afraid of their power slipping away. They know that they are not the majority. They know that we are the majority. They're seeing the Quislings try and stick up for them, but the Quislings are not enough even for them. They know that their status, their preferential status in this country is slipping away, and they are doing everything they can to try and shut us up. They will do everything they can to maintain that grip on power. Fuck them, though. Fuck them. Let's listen to them call us a racist as we strip it all away and deport them. See you later.